Got all my leg soldiers done, World War II era, minus these half a dozen listed. I started noting the specified weapon system that goes with the unit itself. Uh, if I didn't do that in the unit file, I would have to do it outside of the unit file for future reference. So I might as well just do it in the unit file uh, because it keeps all the information I would want to observe for future references or for others who would want to build an understanding of how I generated the specified stats per unit, having the actual unit and the weapon listed makes that a lot easier to do. So I started doing that. Lee Enfield, that's the rifle. That's a standard issue for the United Kingdom's Commonwealth Forces. The difference between that and the Pattern 114 Enfield is the first the clip size. The Pattern 14 had a 5-round stripper clip like most other rifles of that era. The updated issue, which was issued to most, but not all, Commonwealth forces during the World War II era, had a clip capacity of 10, charger clip, which was a casing that housed 2 stripper clips of 5 rounds, so it essentially held 10 rounds per magazine as opposed to the 5 that the Pattern 114 or 1914 holds. So that's in there. That's how I did this offense. Oh, and the Pattern 1914 had slightly more accurate results per shot, so I implemented that by increasing the ground attack range by 0.2 decimals for the Pattern 14. So although the Lee Enfield has a higher ammunition capacity per shot in the game, the Pattern 1914 has a slightly longer ground attack range, so it balances it out. So missed that one. Actually, the minimum was 20 to 30 rounds per minute for that gun. I missed a few. There's going to be some errors or mistakes or things I overlooked throughout this. It's a lot of data to get perfect all in one shot as a human being. I'm going to look over this. That's why I separated it into respective groups of data, so I can pull this out, put it in my little editor file, and then open it in here and review it and compare it to other units for future reference to build other units as well. But it's the Home Guard. They use the Pattern 1914. They have a combat time of 5, initiative of 20. This is a standard infantry. 1924 has an initiative rating of 25. That should be 30 because of the size of the round or the size of the magazine is 10. It wouldn't make sense to have it as 25 when 30 would be 3 clips. So has a combat time of 10 because that's what a clip or a magazine holds, and say you can go through 3 of them in a minute. The engineers, I gave all them a slightly lower uh, initiative rating because I see engineers as a useful, multi-faceted, purposed unit in the game. They have a lot of abilities that the standard units don't have, and to make them excessively, or even equally as strong as like the infantry unit would leave very little room outside of like the cost of the unit and the weight of the unit to even want to build an infantry unit over an engineering unit in the game. So the engineer can build things, they can demolish things, and they can also fight, but they're not as efficient because they're not solely trained to be fighters, such as the standard infantry would be. That doesn't always carry true in real life. Sometimes there's elite engineering units that are superior in combat to standard infantry outfit, depending on exactly what kind of training they receive to perform various tasks in a battle situation or, elsewhere. But for the game, that's how I'm doing it to make it make sense. Yeah, I got a lot, and there's still a lot I could do, but I'm not adding any more new units until I get all of the units that are existing in the game from 1900 to 1950 complete and coordinated and finished, reviewed and finished. I've, since my last video, adjusted the combat times for all the German units and Polish units I was doing. I decided that made no sense to add additional combat time to a gun that carries, or to a gun that loads a five round stripper clip. By adding extra clips to the combat time, it really didn't make much sense in regard to trying to accomplish um, putting together an organized database based on specified variables. The specified variable I'm talking about right now is how many shots could that guy take per clip. So that's 5. Not 10, not 15, not 20. Doesn't matter how efficient or distinguished any one of these units could have been during the war. You adjust that with the initiative. If I feel as though the Obergrenadier is a more potent fighting unit than the Grenadier, standard Grenadier, then I can make him have a slightly higher initiative, meaning he would likely be able to fire 25 rounds a minute. He'll be able to fire 20, yada yada yada. But they can both fire 5 per round because they're using the same gun, and that doesn't change. So that's all good now. Those were the only 2 countries that I started doing that for, and then after I made that last video, I doubled back and did all the other remaining units in the current format that I'm doing it in now, and it's working out very good.